MONOMYTH is a dungeon crawler game made by a small team called Red Tower. The game clearly takes the old school way. It has a lot of systems and interactivity, and exploration is definitely one of its highlights. Basically, you are the second son of King Ferrodin III. Your older brother led an expedition to this place called Fortress City of Lysandria, but no one has heard from him in a while. In the meanwhile, the gods are causing storms that force people to go and live underground. There's supposedly this thing called the primeval seed deep within the fortress that can calm the gods and the storms down. So ultimately the goal is to find both your brother and that primeval seed. Character creation is a thing. There are quite a few stats and skills to choose from. You can't customize your looks, just choose from a selection of portraits. But since the game is first person and you only see your hands, that isn't that big of a deal for me personally. The game looks pretty good for a small team. The environments have lots of detail and the levels are designed well, with plenty of shortcuts and secrets to find. Combat feels okay, but often lacks impactful animations. Most of the time it's a bit floaty. That's mostly because the enemies don't really react at all, or just barely, to your attacks. For example, if you throw projectiles at them, there is often no visible knockback or reaction, and if you burn them, then sure, it does drain the health, but otherwise they look like they don't really give a crap about being burned or electrocuted to death. Now this observation is not set in stone, because in a recent development log, it was clearly visible that the dummy he used has impact animations, but I cannot guarantee that these animations are actually implemented in the game and not exclusive to the dummy he uses for testing. There are different types of attacks you can do by holding the attack button and pressing directions. You can use melee weapons, bows and magic. Unlocking spells in this game is actually fairly interesting, because this is tied to an explorative system that involves echo stones and pentagrams. One of the highlights in this game is probably the interactive world. Just to give you a few examples, you can set flammable objects on fire, you can pull arrows out of corpses, bake bread or go fishing. There is environmental storytelling. Through items you can find and interact with, you can throw objects at enemies to cause damage, and use your telekinesis skills to pull and push objects, and also hold and launch more heavy objects that you couldn't move otherwise. The trading system features a barter system, where you and the NPC each have an inventory window. You can simply drag items you want to trade into their respective windows and try to match the values. Yes, you can use money to even things out. A nice touch here is that characters with points into their speech skill can haggle for better prices. The early access version is supposed to have a main hub with NPCs, quests and trading, which I think is great to make this feel a bit more alive. It is worth mentioning that there is some voiceover for the characters, for example for trading, greetings, battle cries, etc., but not for entire dialogues, which once again, keeping in mind that this is a one-man team, is understandable. And that sentence concludes today's video. If your time was respected, a like or comment is very much appreciated.